Nice to meet all of you. I'm Clayton Dutton. I'm Senior Solutions Engineer at LucidLink. I've been in the broadcast and post-production business for 30 years, most of that time at Discovery Channel, a lot of it at Viacom CBS. And I was also the founding solutions engineer at Frame.io. And so I love Frame.io, great product. But as a former editor, once I found out what LucidLink was, quite frankly, I couldn't get here quick enough. So first thing I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about LucidLink so that what I'm going to share with you today makes sense at all. So LucidLink is really a SaaS storage collaboration platform that really is your single source of truth. So today, I might be working with 5 people. We all have our individual data sets on our little hard drives, right? So we take all of those, we move them to the cloud. Now we can collaborate in a meaningful way, right? I don't need a final sequence. I need just one project file. We can also collaborate on all the media files together. And my favorite thing is you don't have to download first. You can simply start working. And I don't know how many of you out there are working in the 4, 6, and 8K world, but 1 terabyte size projects are commonplace. And if I'm at home on 80 megabits per second Wi-Fi, I can't edit for you for another 8 hours. See you in a few hours. With LucidLink, you start right away. Just a little bit about us by the numbers. Lots of users, lots of enterprises, lots of countries. And we're really proud of that 80 petabyte plus of storage. And some of our customers have over 1,000 users. So scale is not a problem with us. Again, this is a visual representation of what I was talking about earlier. So let's remove these individual data islands and unify everything up top, right? You might say Dropbox does this, G Drive does this. Yes, but you've got to sync everything. You've literally got to duplicate that data locally. We avoid that problem altogether. So let's show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. All right. So I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to go into Premiere Pro. Now, a lot of you may not know this, but right here, I parked my LucidLink drive right next to my hard drive because effectively that's what we are. So if I go into my LucidLink drive here and I go into my folder, I've got an iOS footage folder here. Now you can see that what's been going on is my buddy Brett in the background's been shooting some stuff and I've been shooting some stuff. So we can get to some really interesting stuff. All right. And I can go here and a bunch of files that Brett has just shot. Now look at that. So we just shot that. So what happens if I need to make a social media cut of NAV? Well, let's go here. Let's go back to camera to cloud. And I'm going to go to my iOS uploads. And let's just import all that footage. Now you can see that I just imported all the metadata. So does everyone understand what's just happened? I literally, Brett, can you wave for everybody? He's one of our great industry development directors at LucidLink. He's literally shooting us, and I'm an editor. I can be anywhere in the world right now and literally access this content. Maybe I cut a few pieces down, and I simply, whoops, wrong way, Clayton. And we simply publish to whatever social media, whatever web page, whatever broadcast kind of environment. We can stream it. So you don't have to wait. A big thing that I'm seeing out in the industry right now is everyone's hearing the camera to cloud term, right? In fact, if you noticed, my LucidLink drive is even named camera to cloud. Well, I hear from a lot of my customers, I'm not going to upload my raw footage from set. I don't have the bandwidth. And you are absolutely right. Although I will encourage you to take a look at that space. That's getting interesting quick. One of our partners at LiveView are doing some really interesting stuff with on-set bandwidth. But everybody on set's got one of these. And these shoot 4K ProRes. For social, web, digital, much higher resolution than you would even need for something like that. Meanwhile, go ahead and ship your log back. Ship it on a hard drive, whatever you need to do. Get it back to the facility with the biggest pipe is what you need to do. But if you put that on LucidLink as well, you can simply react to whatever market conditions may happen in front of you. So again, I can just be on set shooting, grab content right from set anywhere in the world. And the only thing I need to do is make sure that I have the right people in LucidLink. So as soon as I invite a member, and we'll just do a fake email address here, I can generate an invite link, text that to somebody. They can be within the system. Everything I'm showing you right now takes less than 15 minutes to set up. There's no hardware. Your existing computer will work just fine. We don't need to have huge, strong internet connections. Notice here, I have my LucidLink panel in Premiere. It knows about my cache. I can cache my clip ranges if I wanted to. I could pin clips. I can pre-saturate my data knowing my internet connection may be compromised. And the one thing I will caution all of you against, you'll hear a lot of players in this space now. Be careful, right? You don't want to, we can't defy physics. Physics matter. Bit rate matters. Connection speed matters. But when you start talking about files that we're shooting, if you think about location scouting, casting calls, interviews, executive interviews, things like that, I see so many people lugging huge equipment and overshooting. I can't tell you how many of my colleagues and customers shoot HDR for social. Doesn't support HDR, folks. So all that extra render time, all that extra download time, all that extra space, there is no downstream benefit. And I hear a lot, well, I'm going to push into the footage, right? Are you going to be able to see that macro blocking or any kind of noise on a cell phone? Probably not. So let's go back now to some other points I wanted to kind of discuss. So the other thing I want you to take away is that everything I'm just showing you is behind what we call our zero knowledge encryption. It is encrypted in the cache, it is encrypted at the object store, and it is encrypted at the metadata controller. The only people that can access your data are the people that have downloaded the application, kind of, we'll get to that in a minute, and people that you've explicitly added into the system. We decrypt the data at delivery. So if I bring you into my project and I see a couple clips go up before I've approved them and remove you, any data in your cache is bye-bye. Now it's there, but you cannot decrypt it. Now, some of the stuff we were talking about just a minute ago, it's the right tool for the right job. Am I going to shoot everything on this? No. But is there a lot of stuff I can grab opportunistically? Yeah. How many of you have been on big agency shoots, big productions, and the social and digital teams for days are like, where's my footage? Where's my footage? Where's my footage? Well, they'll still need the high-res footage, but we can start to control our own destiny a lot with the existing tool set that we have. So let's ask ourselves, how will the content be presented? Why are we shooting 8K instead of 6K or 4K or HD? Just because it can shoot the best quality, does that mean we need that? So it's really about what's the use case and what am I going to need to do with it? And then we encourage you also to test and tweak, right? These things are kind of new to people. You're going to get a lot of weird things at first, right? Do I shoot ProRes? Do I shoot MP4? But that's what we're here for. Really, what I want you to do is just give us a call. Visit lucidlink.com and get a hold of us. Myself, I got Rich Werhan sitting right there. Rich, raise your hand. He's one of my colleagues in the SE group. We've got hundreds of years of experience between the 8 of us in the group, and we've probably seen what you're dealing with. Again, there is no one size fits all for everyone, but we have options now. Everything I've just showed you, just to remind you, can be set up in 15 minutes or less. There's no hardware to deploy. The application that you have to install does not even require a restart of your machine. And on Android, iOS, you can upload directly from your phone. So these are the reasons why LucidLink is really becoming the de facto standard in just immediate collaborative cloud-based access. And remember, we work beautifully with everyone from the videographers, the wedding videographers, all the way up to the largest enterprises on the planet. So, any questions on any of that? We got some Q&A. Anyone interested? No? It's before lunch. Everyone's really tired. Well, I know you're ingesting a lot of information at this event this week, and we appreciate that. It's also been a lot of you have traveled. So, yeah, we have a question right here. Mike's coming to you. Thank you. I can't hear you. The question was, how are we doing the upload? And thank you. I cannot believe I forgot to show you that. And you're from Monumental Sports, right? Great company. And I'm a DC native, so I'm a Commanders, Wizards, Capitals fan through and through. Okay, so yeah, let me show you real quick, and we'll just, here we go. All right, cool. So luckily, I can show you right here. Love this. By the way, if anyone's not using this latest Mac OS feature, it's pretty great. All right, cool. Sorry, everyone. A little bit of a sometimes when you're doing sharing, there we go. Yay. All right, cool. Okay, so Android and iOS, it's very similar. So I've got the LucidLink application here on my phone. What's cool about this is that I have access to any workspace. So the way LucidLink works, it's sort of broken down by workspaces. So I own this workspace, but yet I've got parts of access to various other workspaces. And these file spaces that I'm showing you, like this one or any of the other ones, they're basically AWS data centers anywhere in the world. You choose. Or if you want to bring your own, let's say you have a deal already with a hyperscaler, fine. As long as it's S3 compatible, you can bring your own storage to the party. So yeah, I just go to the file space that I want to upload to as a user. And then I just go to the file I want to upload. And then, yeah, when I click on this, I can also upload just standard files, create a folder. But in this case, I'm just going to upload some video. And then if I want, I can also filter by just videos and then really just pick whatever I want. And one of the nice things about it is if I upload something on iOS 26, it is a background process. So I can close my phone and it will just continue to upload in the background. So I may shoot 5 or 6 videos and just bam, 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 bring those up in all at once. And it can be a background process. Again, I'm not telling you to base your whole productions off these types of workflows, but all kinds of opportunities fly up, right? Location scouting is one of my favorite ones, right? Especially because you can get something like Magic Viewfinder on iPhone as an app, and it integrates natively with interesting things like Frame.io, or I can just upload, So I think you're starting to see the industry shift a little bit, and you're starting to see more and more of these things going on set. Of course, you have to be careful too, right? We don't want to blow security or release footage too early. So all of this comes with obviously the typical workflow security that you already have in your existing workflows. Thank you. Wonderful question. Go ahead. Yeah. So the question is, does it work with Avid Media Composer? Yeah. So at the end of the day, what's cool about LucidLink is we're just a hard drive. So we work with everything from Avid, Maya, Cinema 4D, Logic, Nuendo, Pro Tools. Pro Tools is a big one. Lots of Pro Tools users. But we don't do the bin locking. So you would need an ancillary piece of software like Mimic by Hedge or something like that to do your bin locking. Whereas with Adobe Production sort of has that built into the app, and that works beautifully with LucidLink as well. If you're using Adobe Productions or Adobe Teams workflows, fantastic. We're just a different hard drive in the background that doesn't need to be shipped or downloaded. Any other questions from anyone?
It's dependent. You said it was dependent on internet connection or not?
Well, not entirely, and let me show you why. So we have features for high latency conditions. So I can right click on any folder and pre-cache the data, right? We're not magic. We cannot push 8 lanes of traffic down a dirt road, right? So if you're 35,000 feet in the air heading back home after an AB and you want to edit 8K on an airplane, no problem, but you will have to pin your data first. You can either do that like this manually. My favorite, because I'm lazy, is just play back my data. We only ever go to the cloud if it's not in your cache. And what's cool about LucidLink is that we support cache sizes up to 10 terabytes for this reasons. So right now I have my cache set at 100. Generally speaking, that's what most video teams are using, 100 or 200. You can set it to an external SSD drive. I'm lazy. I don't like remembering things. I'm an old editor and I forget things constantly. So I want that to be my default internal SSD drive. Okay. And think of your cache as sort of like a sliding window along any part of your data set. We store the files in a really clever way. So even though they look like single file objects, they're not. They're all encrypted and we only deliver the data that's required. And in fact, let's do something fun real quick since we got a minute. I'm going to go into something that's 441 megabits per second. No problem. So when I get asked about bit rate, I get asked this question all the time. My first question back to my customer is, what bit rate are you editing at? And almost always the answer I get is 4K. It's not a bit rate. That's an aspect ratio, right? It's a picture size. It is part of the equation. So frame rate, color depth, picture size, all of that. And in everyone's defense, it's not easy to find your bit rate. But if you go into QuickTime and hit Command I, you'll see this is a 441 megabits per second video. I am not gonna stream that and have fun over Wi-Fi. So I have pre-cached that data. Yep. And anyone tells you that they can do that, immediately walk away from them. You can't defy physics. We are working with, unfortunately, the laws of thermodynamics, people. But the onset bandwidth too, companies like LiveView, Ghost Kits, they're really doing some interesting things. So don't be afraid of proxies either, folks. That's 441 megabits per second, and it looks fabulous, right? Check this out. And we're designed to not need proxies, but I always have this conversation. So let's make this big. So this looks pretty good too, right? Maybe not quite as good. What's the bit rate? 10 megabits per second. That is 44 times less than what I just showed you. So the question I have for all of you is that extra little bit that you might have been able to see worth 44 times more download time for people, or render time, or upload, especially when you can't get that HDR on the end platform? It's a browser or social, sorry. Some claim they support it and are starting to more and more, but it's not at all robust. So back to that right tool for the right job kind of thing. But all that's a long-winded way of saying that's some of the reasons Rich, myself, and folks like us, part of being a LucidLink customer is my face isn't going to sell LucidLink, but the knowledge in my head may really help you. I've run into a lot of weird things over the last 30 years. Charlie and I can give you some stories from Monumental. And so, yeah, it's helpful. And we're here to be your consultants. We don't charge you a support contract or consulting fees. If you're a member in LucidLink, just let me know. I meet with my customers regularly here doing things like MAM rollouts and DAM rollouts, or maybe their current workflow is killing them. One little thing I do want to show everyone. I don't know if it's there yet. We're going to take a little risk, but that's okay. So let's go back to this file here, and let's go to that location where Brett was putting all that footage for me. He's doing such a great job, right? And I am just going to go ahead and move one of those to the trash. Now, if any of you have worked in Premiere in your career, Premiere does not like going offline. Remember, we're all working off the same hard drive. So what am I going to do? LucidLink has something called snapshots. So I'm going to mount my snapshot, and I'm going to go 15 minutes ago in time. Assuming the data's there. This is kind of risky because I don't know if it's been that long, but we're going to find out. So you're going to see a new hard drive pop up. Yep, there it is. And it's called the same thing as my active hard drive. It just has the word snapshots in it. So I'm going to go to 15 minutes ago in time. I'm going to go to that iOS uploads, and let's go back to my other hard drive, and let's restore that file. Let's see, 2692, which one was it? Help me out here, Brett. It's 6. There we go. Oh, there is no 6. So my point is you would just, oh, here it is. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7. So let's take 7 and just restore it. Sorry, it's kind of hard to click up here on the angle. You get the point. So I could restore the media easily and then just simply, there we go. Oops. It's really tricky up here. So I can restore the media and then go back into LucidLink and just relink, or excuse me, Premiere and relink. So thank you. You've been a great audience. If there's no other questions, if you want to come back and talk to us again later, we'll be here again in a couple hours. Thank you.